Think back to the last time someone insulted you or called your idea stupid. Your heart pounds, your face burns. In that split second, you have two choices. You either snap back with anger, or you freeze up and spend the next 3 hours regretting what you didn't say. Either way, you lose. Because in both cases, you let their disrespect dictate your emotional state. Marcus Aurelius understood this psychological trap 2,000 years ago when he wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. If you scream back, you become them. If you stay bitter, they own you." Today, I'm revealing 6 Stoic mental frameworks that break this cycle forever. You won't just learn how to win arguments without raising your voice. You'll learn how to command absolute authority and make the other person respect you every single time. Let's start with the very first method, the Judo blow of agreement. When someone attacks you, human instinct is to raise your shield and draw your sword to strike back. But Seneca once warned, "Anger is like a falling building. It shatters itself upon the very thing it tries to crush." You think you're venting anger to overpower your opponent. No, you are simply shattering your own calmness and dignity into pieces. Next time someone walks up to you and says, "Your plan is terrible and completely unrealistic," don't argue. Use their own attacking energy to disarm them. Look them dead in the eye, give a slight nod, and say, "You're partly right." That risk factor is very real, and I take it extremely seriously. But here is the core issue we need to clarify. Watch what just happened inside their brain. They prepared themselves for a fierce fight, but instead you offered them agreement. Their brain short-circuits. You disarm their weapon without breaking a single drop of sweat. You haven't lost, you've just taken complete control of the battlefield. Method 2. The Socratic trap. The second technique comes from the grand master of all Stoics, Socrates. Weak people love to force assertions. Masters of the game always choose to ask questions. Suppose your co-worker confidently declares, "Your approach is going to ruin this entire project." Instead of roaring back to prove them wrong, offer a gentle smile and ask an innocent question. "I'd love to understand your perspective better. In your view, which exact step in this process will lead to that failure? And what is your alternative solution?" Now, the burden of proof is pushed right back onto their shoulders. If their argument is shallow, your question forces them to dig their own grave. You aren't attacking them at all. You are simply playing the role of a curious and receptive conversationalist. As Epictetus once taught, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Let them trap themselves with their own words. Method 3. Psychological keywords and absolute calm. The words you choose can either ignite a war or transform it into a masterclass in negotiation. The iron rule of a Stoic: never use accusatory language. Instead of saying, "You're being unreasonable and selfish," which instantly triggers their defense mechanism, reframe it as, "I don't feel entirely convinced by this logic yet. Can we take another look at the data?" In addition, weave in subtle psychological reframing phrases like "obviously" or "naturally, both of us want." And here is a Stoic secret weapon: maintain direct eye contact and hold the silence. When you deliver a calm statement and stay completely silent for the next 3 seconds while keeping an unwavering gaze, the psychological pressure on your opponent becomes overwhelming. Your silence becomes the loudest noise in the room. Method 4. The overwhelming data storm. When your opponent argues with raw emotion and baseless judgment, a Stoic responds with objective reality. In Stoicism, there is a core concept known as fantasia, seeing things exactly as they truly are, stripped of all emotional spin. When someone attacks you with gut feelings or prejudice, rain down a storm of cold, hard data upon them. According to the Q3 report, the risk factor is only 12%. Actual customer data shows an 18% growth, and industry expert forecasts completely contradict what you just said. The human brain cannot process massive amounts of information while in a heightened emotional state. They will feel completely overwhelmed by information overload, realize they are operating purely on emotion, and be utterly dominated by your thorough preparation. Method 5. The Rule of 3. Why is it that the greatest speeches in human history are built around the number 3? One reason sounds like an excuse. 2 reasons feel incomplete. 3 reasons build an impenetrable fortress. A Stoic always thinks in structured principles. When you state your position, anchor it within 3 clear pillars. I disagree with this proposal for 3 specific reasons. First, it exceeds our budget. Second, our team is not yet prepared. And third, it directly contradicts the company's long-term objectives. This approach makes you appear immensely professional, calm, and in control. It forces your opponent to think within your frame of logic, rather than dragging you down into their chaos. Method 6. The calm, decisive strike. This is the ultimate weapon. The pinnacle of debate isn't about speaking more, it's about landing a single, well-timed, concise verdict that ends the argument instantly. A Stoic is never bitter. They simply expose the contradiction in their opponent's logic with a politeness that is ruthlessly sharp. When someone deliberately attempts to diminish you with baseless criticism, look them dead in the eye, keep your voice low and warm, and deliver your reply. That advice sounds truly fascinating, coming from someone who has never actually rolled up their sleeves to do this work. I truly admire your confidence regarding a topic you've spent all of 5 minutes looking into. And then, stop. Offer no further explanation. Everyone in the room will clearly see who is actually in command of the situation. Game over. Now, listen closely to this. What is the true difference between an amateur and a Stoic master? An amateur uses these tactics in isolation. A master knows how to chain them together into a flawless combo. Picture a real-world conversation. You open with a tactical concession, method 1, to diffuse their initial aggression. You deploy the rule of 3, method 5, to establish an airtight structure for your argument. If they continue to twist your words, unleash a data storm, method 4, to snap them back into objective reality. And if they persist with unreasonable attacks, land the calm, decisive strike, method 6, to close the battle. But remember this, the ultimate goal of Stoic philosophy is never to crush someone, just to stroke your own ego. The goal is to safeguard your inner peace, your Ataraxia, and to uncover the truth. True victory in any argument isn't making the other person silent. True victory is walking away with your dignity, your composure, and your grace completely intact. As Epictetus famously taught, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You cannot control their insulting words, but you hold absolute power over how you respond. Starting today, I want you to pick just one method from this video. Try applying it in your very next conversation. Start small and feel the shift in how others perceive you. Which of these 6 methods surprised you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this video gave you a fresh perspective on mastering your emotions and your mind, hit the like button and subscribe to the Stoic Path. I'll be back soon to join you on this journey of inner mastery. Thank you for listening. Stay calm and stay in command of your life.